Dear diary, I need to just do it. Need to pick up my pencil or brush even when the timing isn't perfect. To create even when I'm not overflowing with ideas. Even when the task of filling an empty page seems daunting. I am yearning for progress whilst fearing the process, which in all honesty is quite absurd. Art is a skill that needs to be honed, yet for me it is, or at least it used to be, so much more than that. When I started drawing, it was all about the fun, the love for the process. Soon it became all about the pride and excitement I felt once I saw my skills evolving. Then I learned how to love how I could just shut out the outside world while creating. And then I learned to fear it. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't terrified of art itself, but of failure. Of not meeting my own ridiculously high expectations. Once my art reached a point where it generated praise by others, I was hit with major art block. And it hit me hard. I can't grasp the full picture, or every single reason behind my several year-long inability to create. However, I do think that one of the main culprits was my desire for approval. My whole motivation to make art began being fueled by wanting to create drawings or paintings that would be admired by others. Consequently, I cared about nothing but the final product. And if I wasn't happy with it, if it didn't look good, what was the point of drawing then? I wanted every single piece to be perfect, and I became discouraged when I didn't do my absolute best or when a painting didn't turn out the way I imagined it. At the same time, I found no joy in the process. I loved the idea of being an artist, but I hated being one. I had absolutely no connection to my artwork because I wasn't creating it for myself. Art turned from a hobby to something I had to do. Something that was only worth doing when I could go all in. And at some point, I stopped. There are some feeble attempts, yet I always rushed through them because I merely wanted to have a pretty or technically advanced result. The only occasions on which I actually felt compelled to dedicate myself to a piece was when we were given a task in art class, which seemed thematically appealing to me and coincided with the artistic ability I had already developed. I would be dedicated and put my heart and soul into the piece. And I would actually manage to make art that I loved, that I felt connected to, that for a fleeting period of time evoked a spark of the passion I know I have deep down, just for it to be extinguished in the blink of an eye. Because I immediately felt pressure to outperform myself. It was always higher, faster, further. Do better. Be extraordinary. Never did it occur to me to ask myself what kind of art spoke to me, what made me feel accomplished and buzzing with joy. No, I focused on nothing but performance. Looking back, it seems quite obvious that I set myself up for failure. It is perfectly normal to not love every single one of your drawings, to draw when your time is limited, or to simply lack the energy to give it your all. Life isn't put on hold just so you can focus on doing art. Most of the time, life will happen, and you will need to figure out how to fit art into a busy day, week, or month, and not the other way around. Devoting myself to doing art, even when the circumstances or the pieces aren't perfect, has been hard to say the least. And while I think I might be beginning to understand and apply that concept, it's certainly not something that comes to me naturally. However, I have done more art in the last 5 months than I have in years. I don't exactly like how most of it looks, but I enjoy creating the majority of it. I have come to appreciate the process and the learning curve, to embrace the weird-looking doodles or the sketches that are left unfinished and will probably never be seen by anyone but me. I don't even know where I'm going with my art, but I know that I am just doing it, and it feels good. Yours, Emma.